Hi, thanks for joining me. Today I want to tell you about my very favorite printmaking book in the collection. It's called Simple Printmaking by Peter Weiss. It is illustrated by Sally Gralla. And what I love about this book is that it is truly simple, and it shows you how with very simple materials you can make sophisticated work. And I'm also going to show you, I really love the illustrations. For instance, you've probably all done potato prints, but this kind of shows you what you can really do with a large potato and with some imagination. I think this is an example of a roller print. Let me see if I can show you one more. And this is some found object that people are printing from that are pretty cool. So there's a lot you can do, and like I said, you can do it very simply. What I want to talk to you today are about styrofoam prints. And you start out with this simple styrofoam, like a meat tray you can get from your grocery. And you just cut off the edges. And I'm just going to do this quickly. You'll probably want to take a little more time with it than I am. So you start out with your plate, and you can use all sorts of things to scratch into it and make marks and make designs. So for instance, one of the nice things is kind of not a sharp pencil, but kind of a blunted pencil. You can just kind of move around in there. If you wanted to use something sharp like a fine pen, it'll make a different mark. You also might think about using a key. And while you can't see this, I'm going to show you in the prints I'm going to make. So I do have some print blocks made up. And again, this one is a simple line drawing. So you make your simple line drawing. And before you actually make prints, you do want to ink it up and rub off the excess ink before you make a print, your final print. I'm going to use black ink today so you can see pretty well. Try to remember not to do too much ink because you don't really need that much, okay? You've got your brayer, and you just smooth that out. Get it nice and covered, and then you just ink up your plate. There's a dog outside. I don't know if y'all can hear that. So then you just take your paper and cover your inked plate. And then you give it a good rubbing. And we'll see if I got enough ink. I'm not really sure I did this time. But just make sure you cover the whole surface, that it all gets attention. Okay, so we're going to take a look at it. Yeah, I think I could have used a little more ink on that one. But you get the idea, and this is, like I said, a simple line drawing. And now I'm going to show you something a little more complex. Put some more ink out here. When you're inking up your brayer, try to remember to kind of you roll and kind of pick it up so that you're covering the whole brayer with ink. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna do another plate that I used. It's a, like I said, it's a little more complex. I used the pencil, and I used the key, and I think I also used that really fine pointed pen. Another good thing about inking it up before you actually print it is that when you do go back in with, if you use another color, right? If you go back in with your final color, you'll really be able to see if you've got the whole plate inked up. Okay, and again, we're just gonna put the paper down here and give it a good rub. If you have something like a wooden spoon is really good to use, like a Baron. And a Baron traditionally is something it's kind of round, and you hold it like this, and you use it to burnish your plate to transfer that ink. But again, with these particular prints, usually just rubbing it with your hands is enough. You see, this one is a little more complex. So and you can see here, there's a lot of marks going on through here. I use the key. Some of the finer marks that are in the barn, I use the pen. So you can really do a lot with really simple materials. Like I said, you can get some pretty refined images. Next week, we are going to talk about glue plates. Thanks for joining me.